You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
Hey, what's going on, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, man. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. I've already had 2 cups this morning. I'm also, I was grading papers, I'm doing this Harvard EDX course, which is absolutely fantastic as well. But I want to talk to you about something, man, that I talked to a couple of my friends about yesterday and today, which is, I think it's really important to understand, because sometimes we choose to look at some of these issues on the periphery, and now that the election is over, and somewhat cooler heads can prevail and have conversations. I think we need to have these conversations in the open in terms of analyzing exactly what happened and what didn't happen. And then we need to also look at the numbers and the things that happen. No matter how you feel about Trump or how you feel about Kamala Harris, those things are inconsequential to this particular discussion. I want to kind of boil things down and Occam's razor this thing to just the simplest form ever. The bottom line is this: the population pool of the electorate that both the Republicans and the Democrats are going after are those who are centrists, okay? The people who are all the way on the left, the people who are all the way on the right, they're not changing how they vote. They're stuck where they are. That's it. All right. And the extreme right and the radical right looks just as bad as the radical left. And if you're on the right, you want to point out the things that are going on in the radical left. And if you're on the left, you want to point out the things that are going on in the radical right. But the bottom line is this: the people in the middle, the voting bloc in the middle, is what's going to shift America. Everybody else is on the periphery. You can have discussions about misogyny and race and poor, all those things. You're getting involved in the smoke and mirrors of what's going on. The people in the middle block, okay? The middle block, white males, middle class. That is the middle of America, period. And if you can't speak the language to them and speak what it is that they want and speak what it is that they need and speak what it is that they like, you are going to lose. There aren't enough black people in the United States of America for you to pander to their vote. There's not enough LGBTQ members in America for you to pander to their vote and win. It's just not. You've seen that you can disregard that whole community and still win. I need for you all to understand math. Somebody jumped all over me when I said that Trump ran a brilliant campaign. Yes, it was brilliant. I didn't say that Trump was brilliant. I don't know Trump to say that he's brilliant or not brilliant. I don't know him to call him any names. I don't know him. I don't know him. I do know this. I do know that he did what he needed to do in order to win, and he won. And not only did he win, but he won up and down across the board in terms of the House and the Senate. I mean, we can get in an argument or discussion, and we can have the bottom line is this: the people in the middle, if you want to boil it all the way down to the people in the middle, to the males in the middle, okay? What is the number one thing, the number one most masculine thing that males do? In the animal kingdom, what is it? What do males do in the animal kingdom? They fight. If you ever want to know if you are touching the people in middle America that have those votes and you're going to win or not, just walk yourself into the arena of a UFC event and see if you get booed or if you get cheered, because that population sample is the sample population of the voters that you have to swing in order to win the election. The middle centrist white male vote is in that particular pool. The undecideds are in that particular pool. If you can't walk into a UFC event and get cheered, you're probably not going to win. The left is going to vote how they're going to vote. The right is going to vote how they're going to vote. The people who want to put on high heel shoes as men and drag queens, they're going to do what they want to do. The people who want to put hoods on and KKK and white supremacy, they're going to do what they want to do. But there's people in the middle. There's people in the middle. Are the people that you're going to influence. And here's what you're not going to do. I don't care how you feel about it. You take this and run with it. You're not going to take the middle of the road male in the electorate and convince them on anything that is going on the LGBTQ agenda and get them to vote on your side. It is not going to happen. I'm all down for civil rights. I am. The Democratic Party is not going to be able to win with that at the forefront of the agenda. It falls under the civil rights umbrella. Put it to the back and deal with everything else and take care of everybody else as they need to be taken care of. You can't put it at the front. The voters that you need, just cut out all the stuff on the periphery. Just cut it out. The black women vote, the black male vote, the Latino vote, the numbers aren't enough. And even if there are good numbers, the numbers aren't. If you attack that middle part, white males and some females in the middle class, if you don't speak their language, you're not winning any election. That's it. Trump did a great job in getting them to look at the birdie. He wasn't having a philosophical discussion. He wasn't having a technical discussion. He was telling them people's stories, whether they were true or not, to invoke an emotion when they got to the booth. And it was brilliant, whether you liked it or not. That's what it was. What'd you say, Gita? I ain't getting into that one, but I hear what you're saying. If I get into that, that'll take me into a whole other conversation than the one I'm having right now. But here's the thing, my man. If you don't choose to run a campaign based on the numbers, okay? Somebody that I talked to, you're not going to win. Somebody that I talked to today said, what was the narrative that Kamala Harris put out? I was like, I said, the narrative was freedom. He said, yeah, but what was the main soundbite that she had? I was like, man, I don't know. He said, what was it, Trump? I said, they're killing the cats, they're killing the dogs. He said, right. He said, and as absurd as that sounded, he said, man, everybody was repeating it. He said, it doesn't need to be true. It just needs to invoke an emotion. That's it. That's it. It doesn't matter the size of crowds, how many people are at rallies. What it matters is, can you secure that voting block, that centrist voting block in the middle of America? If you get right, let me tell you something. You could, like, storming the Capitol, correct? In an emotionally invoking response. Here's the thing. If you can get people to storm a Capitol, you can definitely get them to storm the voting booth. If you can make people move like that, you can definitely get them to go to the voting booth. What's going on, Dee Dee? How are you? Like, hey man, I tell people this. I've done judo for years. Every 4 years, the rules of judo change. I remember when I was coaching for the Bahamas Judo Federation, and I started complaining about the rules, and DRC Ramming pulled me to the side. He says, "Man, stop! I don't bring you here to complain about the rules." He said, "Stop bitching about the rules." He said, "I bring you here to figure out how to win under the rules." He said, "In the time that you're spending bitching about the rules," he says, "you're not fixing the problem," because he's an engineer. He went to Northwestern. His son went to Northwestern. They both majored in engineering. I went to Howard, majored in engineering. He said, "You're an engineer." He says, "Figure it out." What he wanted me to do was find a solution within the situation that I was in. He said, Tom Callis said, "We all feel." Yeah, 100%. We do all feel. 100%. And some of us feel bad. And I'm going to tell you, man, I tell people unequivocally, man, I did, and do support Kamala Harris. I'm Howard University all the way through and through, up, down, sideways, and backwards. What happened in this election was not what I necessarily wanted. However, I still got to find a way to win. We still got to find a way to move forward. I think some things are not going to be as good for some people. I can tell you right now, I had a person in practice who was crying last night because her family member is going to get deported. I had the lady who cleans my house who told me, like, after the election, the next day she was like, "Ferguson, I can't come. I got to go to Miami. I got to go try to get my paperwork straight." Drive down to Miami she needs to get her paperwork straight before January. And some of y'all might say, "Oh man, that's good." Yeah, that's not good, man. The level of panic and anxiety that people have to feel that they're going to get put out somewhere. They're here because they don't have anywhere else to go. People don't come to America because they're like, "Oh man, I want to come over here and I want to shit on your opportunity to live." No, they come here because they don't have any other place to go. That's it. You act like people are sitting around the table like, if we go to America, then we can start robbing people. And that's not what people do, man. They don't. Some people don't have anywhere else to go. This is the best place for them to try to make it, to try to live. But people see the world differently. I just want to let you know that there were some things that were done very well there. In the next 4 years, if we want to see things move in a different direction, we got to put some different things at the forefront. If not, they'll continue to be like they are. Fortunately or unfortunately, the powers that be have the opportunity to put more people on the Supreme Court, remove the older ones, put new ones on there that are younger. They also have the opportunity to gerrymander some of the districts. They also have the opportunity to pack the courts. And there'll be some things that are done in these next 4 years that you won't be able to fix in my lifetime. And it's pretty sad. I think that this is now I'm moving to a personal level. Now I'm moving on a personal level. On a personal level, I feel really good that my kids, my children, my own kids had an opportunity to, like, my son is 18. He's experienced 8 years of President Obama and 2 years of Vice President Harris. He's at Howard University as a freshman. And somebody from Howard University has been on the presidential ballot for 2 elections in a row. And he's a young black man, and that's all he's seen growing up. Like, he's growing up with an enormous amount of belief in what he can do based upon what he's seen. So raise my esteem meter for you. Oh man, God bless you. Tom, I tell you what, Tom, we could talk later, but I do know, I know you, I know of you very well. And of course, I've been on the mat with your son before, and I had him tie me up like a knot. Well, we can definitely talk later. But I want to say this on a personal level. My son has only known Black excellence. That's what he's seen. Like, I didn't see that growing up. I see it now in my lifetime. But my son, I told my son to go out on. I said, Rufus, man, make sure you go out for the presidential watch party. He was like, "Yeah, okay, all right, man. I don't know if I'm going out there." And I said, man, it's an excellent time in history. And I was talking to one of my friends. They said, is Rufus out there? I said, I don't think Rufus is out there, man. They said, why not? I said, well, you got to understand, Rufus is at Howard University. When I was at Howard University, Mike Tyson was on campus, Louis Farrakhan was on campus, Jesse Jackson was on campus, Bill Cosby was on campus, every football player was on campus, Maurice Green, 100-meter gold medalist was on campus, Biggie Smalls was on campus, P. Diddy was on campus, Jay-Z was on campus. Everybody in Black America was on campus. I wasn't running around. Like one day somebody would be on campus and it just wasn't a big deal when somebody from Black America was on campus at Howard, because they were on campus every week. I mean, it's Howard University. Why would you not be on campus? So I am glad that he's surrounded with that type of Black excellence. And I can't say I was disappointed, because I've been in America for 49 years and I don't really have a high expectation of. And here's what I told you before. I'm going to say it the way that I'm going to say it, because I just said it before, and I'm going to say it again the way I just said it. I don't have a high expectation of centrist white America in terms of doing for Black America. I said it before, that voting block that's in the middle is that white male voting block. Don't jump on me, okay? Don't hit me with the racism or reverse racism foolishness, which has got to be the dumbest argument ever if you ever study race in your life. I just didn't have a high expectation. I just didn't. It didn't move me either way. I just thought that after seeing the momentum of Obama being president and Kamala Harris being vice president, that we would have an opportunity to do something that may not be done in my lifetime. And I was disappointed, and I will say this up front and open, whether you talk and when people say, I don't like when people use the word identity politics, because everybody who votes based upon identity politics. They vote based upon what they identify with, thus identity politics. I identify with X, Y, and Z. That's why I'm voting for this candidate. Everybody votes based upon identity politics, okay? What I could not understand was win or lose was from the people who exist in the Black America space. And I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not blaming anybody for no votes. Don't text me or DM me. You blaming the Black males? I'm not blaming no Black males for no vote or no win or lose. What I'm saying is this: in a time where, let me frame it like this. My friend Winston Williams, when Obama was running for the first time, asked me, what are you doing for the election? What are you doing for the, I said, I'm going to vote. He said, do you think that's enough? I said, what do you mean? He says, well, when it's all said and done, and it's all written in the history books, and you're sitting down as a grandparent and your grandchildren ask you, so granddad, what were you doing when the first Black president got elected? What did you do? He says, you mean to tell me your answer is going to be, I just voted? I was like, man, I started working the pros. I was knocking on doors. I was canvassing. I was doing everything. And this time around, when Kamala Harris was running, worked phone banks, and I donated money. I just can't understand why. And I get it. I've heard the reasoning. I heard the reasoning. And I respect your ability to choose. I do. I just can't, on a basement level, I can't get, we're here for 4,000 weeks, and you mean to tell me that you have to be, your vision, thank God for that word, your vision is so myopic that in the 4,000 weeks that you're here, you're making a decision based upon gas prices, grocery prices, and rent. when you have an opportunity to change the fabric, of the tapestry that we call America, you're caught up on a price issue that goes up every year, no matter who's the president. I was a little thrown off by that. I have respect for my brothers. I do. I'm not arguing back and forth with them either, because I respect that they have their own opinions on things. But as a graduate from Howard University, I thought it was very, very myopic. I think that it's easy to make that decision when you've never taken a course on Black studies, Blacks in arts, the Black diaspora, history of African Americans, African studies, African history course. When you don't have any understanding of the Reconstruction in America, Black Reconstruction in America, Black America before 1865, Black America after 1865, when you don't understand what I told you before, the Freedmen's Bureau Act, the Moore Act of 1863, 1862, and the Moore Act of 1890, when you don't understand land grants and land grant institutions, when you don't understand the history of the D9 organizations, the Boule, the Links, when you don't understand the type of work from Prince Hall Masons, the type of work that it took to get to where we are now, then you'll make that decision because you don't have enough understanding. The Bible says get wisdom because it's the principal thing, but in all I get understanding. And some people just didn't have any understanding. That doesn't mean that their choice is a bad choice. On a personal level, I just think as a Black male, I'm talking to the Black men who are watching, I just think your choice, those 20% that voted like that, I think your choice lacked some understanding. That's it. That's what I got. And Black folks can vote in 100% block for Democrats, 100% across the board, and it's not going to make a huge difference because, as I said before earlier in the discussion, both parties have to find a way to cater to those centrist votes that are in the middle of America. That's the voting pool that you need to attack. And if you don't find a way to speak to those individuals, you're going to be out of gas. And let me say this as I close. Most white men in America feel like they are being disenfranchised. And you got to understand that it doesn't matter if they have more than you have, or if you believe perceptively as a coalition that they have more than you have. Because on an individual basis, some of you have more than they have, but as a coalition, they have more than other groups have because there's just more of them. However, if they had 80% of the pie and now they have 70% of the pie, they don't feel that they have 70% of the pie. They feel that they have 10% less than what they had before. And as Frederick Douglass said, power does not concede itself without demand, never has and it never will. And power is not going to concede itself. It's just not. So with that being said, as I said before in my post, and I will say again here today, those individuals who voted for President Trump, congratulations for your candidate winning. For those who supported him and he did, congratulations for being involved in the process that we have, and the election process that we have, and the democratic process that we have in the United States. I thank God that we have a quality process. It's not perfect, but thank you for participating in the process. For those individuals who chose not to vote, with all that being said, for those individuals whose candidate did not win, it's time for you to go to work. And for everybody, it's time for us to work together as Americans. I will say this, the election is over. And this is a word for everybody. The election is over. Okay? The vitriol and the hate and the kicking people when they're down and if you have some things that you need to get off your chest, okay, within the next 48 to 72 hours, go ahead and do it now. Because after this week, we need to start moving forward as a country. We got a lot of work to do. We do. And there's going to be some painful things that are going to occur. I will tell you this. I want to say this as I go. There's a book called Freakonomics. And I would highly recommend that you get that book. And if you don't get that book, at least read the part where it talks about the correlative relationship between when Roe v. Wade came into play, and then 15 to 25 years later, when they looked at the crime rate in America. And when were allowed, crime rate went down. And I think that people are getting people hear abortion and they're immediately triggered when they hear the word, not understanding that you need to understand why people have abortions. Now, I am telling you, listen to me very carefully. I am 100% pro-life. I am a pro-life guy. I am pro-life. I am pro-life. I vote pro-choice. I am pro-life. I vote pro-choice. People say, well, how can you be pro-life and vote pro-choice? Yeah, the Bible says, okay, that everything is permissible, but everything is not beneficial, which means you have choice to do what you like. Everything is permissible, but everything is not beneficial. I'm not forcing my values on you. I have my values, and you can choose to adopt mine, or you can choose to adopt yours. Here's the thing. What's going on, Brother Ian Carter? Here's the thing. I don't vote for Kamala because she's an anti-Christ. Ian Carter, I'm going to smash you here, okay? Because I got the mic and you don't. I'm going to smash you here. All right. There's absolutely nothing that you can tell me about Kamala Harris as anti-Christian. I said, because you don't know her. All you know is what she purports for the voting bloc that she has to speak to, which is her particular base, in order to get elected. All right. Now, what we can say factually is that Trump is anti-Christian because he is not Christian. And he has come out and said that he is not Christian. All right. He's not. He just said he's not. I'm not arguing about the election. I'm talking to you because you can't come out and call somebody anti-Christian when the person that you voted for is anti-Christian, my man. Cut it. Okay? Pipe down. Be quiet. Now, here's the deal, all right? As we move forward and as I close, because I want to close. I got stuff to do. I need to close, all right? As I close, I want to say this. I want to mirror what some other woman said in a video. I want Trump to do everything that he said he was going to do so that everybody can see. And I want to go back to what I was saying about the book, Freakonomics, and that there was a correlative relationship between Roe v. Wade being enacted and abortions being able to be had and the crime rate being reduced in a 15 to 25 year period. Because when you look at abortions, you got to ask yourself why people are getting abortions. Well, they get abortions because those are mostly unwanted pregnancies. Now, why do people have unwanted pregnancies? People have unwanted pregnancies. People abort because they're unwanted pregnancies, because most of the time they do not have the financial means in order to continue to keep the child, or perceptively they don't believe that they do. So if we want to, I don't even think the discussion is about abortion or not abortion. I believe that the discussion is actually pro-life, of how people can have life and have it more abundantly, how they can actually pursue happiness, how they can get on a path of the pursuit of happiness. I think that if we create a situation where we are pro-life, I don't think we have to have a discussion about abortion. We all got good sense. We all know if there's ectopic pregnancies or people are in a situation where they're going to lose their life, some things need to happen medically. We all got good sense, but more often than not, people are not having the children because they can't afford to. It will put them in a situation that they can't sustain or maintain. They feel that their life will be ruined. So if we're pro-life, pro-life stance all the way through. That's my whole thing. That's all I got. It's going to be very tough in the next couple of years. If you can read the book Freakonomics, I think you'll enjoy it. Like I said, I thought that what Trump did from a marketing standpoint was brilliant. If you had to look at the statistics, if he was playing a sport, he's run 3 times, and every time that he's come out, his numbers got better. It was good. There was some tactical errors that could have been done differently on the Democratic side. Hope they get cleaned up in the future. But that's it. Let's all love each other. Let's all move forward as Americans, and let's really cut the BS, man, with the arguing back and forth. Let's just be done with it this week, so we could move the election. Trump won, Harris lost. Let's move forward as a country. That's all I got to say. And as I always end, man, I love you, but God loves you best. Take care and have a super fantastic day. Hey, Crystal, you just got on here, Crystal. How about that? Crystal, I ain't going to leave without telling Crystal around. I ain't going to leave without telling her hello. Hello, Crystal. What a mighty God we serve. Angels bow before him. Heaven and earth adore him. What a mighty God we serve.
You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, 4-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.